Hi, welcome to Maree P. Today I'm sharing how to make fruit buns with spelt flour. I'm using dried cranberries, but these are delicious with sultanas, raisins, or you could even do chopped up fresh apple. We love eating fruit buns any time of year. We don't just like waiting for Easter to eat hot cross buns. So these are light and fluffy and easy adaptable to whatever flour you have and whatever fruits on hand. So the first step is we've soured some milk before we started filming. So I've got a cup of milk, oat milk, and we've got some cider vinegar in there. So that's all ready to go. So into our stand mixer, we're going to start throwing everything in. So we've got the 2 types of flour, and I don't bother sifting them. And you can do all white, or you can add a little bit more whole grain. This recipe makes about 8 buns. So I've got the 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of mixed spice. We've got our 2 teaspoons of salt, and we've got 1 packet of instant dried yeast, which is 7 grams. So we'll pop that in on top of the spice. And then we've got 2 eggs. We're going to use 1 for the top for the glaze. I'm just going to crack one now. I'm just going to put the egg in with the milk. I just looked at my notes. I should have put the yeast in there, but it doesn't matter. It's instant yeast, so it'll be fine. And then I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of honey. Now you can add more honey if you want them sweeter, or you can add another sweetener like maple syrup or agave or brown rice syrup. And I'm going to mix it with my dough hook or my stand mixer. But this will work fine if you don't have a stand mixer and you've just got a wooden bowl with a big bowl with a wooden spoon, or your hands will be fine. So let's pour that in. And then we need to let that mix for about 8 to 10 minutes until it's soft and stretchy. I've got my really large baking tray here because we've got 8 rolls to sit on here, and I've lined it with some paper. I like to use a damp tea towel, so that's on standby ready to go. It's kind of easier to transfer it into a large bowl to let it rest. So I like to drizzle olive oil in there and just use my hand to mix it around, so then that'll be ready for the dough. You can use flour, but I like to add the olive oil because it adds a little bit more hydration, and it just slides out once it's done its first prove or first rise. So I'm just looking at that, and that looks a bit dry, so I'm going to add a little drizzle of olive oil. So it's about 1 to 2 tablespoons. You can add butter, but I love the flavour of the olive oil in the buns because it gives it a nice kind of richness. And we are aiming to get the bowl clean, which is it's starting to do. Our dough is looking very stretchy. It is slightly less stretchy with a little bit of whole grain flour. And then grab the dough off the hook. So just shape it into a ball. It's lovely sticky dough. Don't be scared if your dough's a little bit sticky, that's great. And then we're going to cover it with the damp tea towel. And we'll just let that rest for about 45 minutes until it's doubled in size. And then we do the next step. So the dough is lovely and soft, and now we need to add our cranberries to the dough. So I've got my bowl of cranberries here, so it's 150 grams. So what I do is I like to just stretch the dough out and then add the cranberries in. And they kind of want to jump out, but you just start kind of kneading and folding, and they all just kind of stick in eventually. So then before we start dividing it, what I do is I'll weigh it on this scales here. So we've got almost 1,000, so let's just divide 1,000, divide by 8 rolls, it's 125. So let's cut that in half, put some flour on the dough. We're aiming for about 125 each. So then I just stretch it and pull it back into itself to form the ball. And the cranberries might fall out, but that's fine. And then we just roll it on the bench to create a nice ball shape. You just pop it on the tray. I'll just continue till they're all done. Just trying to space them out so they don't stick together. So now we need to grab the damp tea towel back over them and let them do the second rise for about 45 minutes till they double in size again. So we'll do that and then we'll do the next step. So we're back with our buns and let's have a look at them. They haven't quite doubled in size, but they're ready to be baked. So let's brush them with a little egg wash. So I've just got one of my eggs beaten in this bowl and I'm just brushing the tops of them. And we preheated the oven to 200 degrees, so that's been on for a while, so it's lovely and hot. A little baking tip, I like to add a little bit of water to the base of my oven. So I've got some water in here, so just pop that in the base. And then we'll bake these high at 200 for 5 minutes, and then we drop it back to 180 for 15. So we're back with the buns. I've had them cooling. So look at them, they look so shiny and lovely. And I've just cut one open here and it's really soft and spongy and light and fluffy. So even though it's got spelt flour and it's using a little bit of whole grain spelt, they're still lovely and light and fluffy. So I've buttered one half, so I'll just give it a little taste test. I love the pop of the cranberries and got a lovely thin crust. Hint of spice, the cinnamon and mixed spice is absolutely delicious. I can't wait to have these for breakfast tomorrow. These are even better toasted in the toaster for a few minutes and spread with butter, even a little bit of jam. So hope you give this a go. Let me know in the comments below if you try it and you like my recipe. Hit the thumbs up, share it with a friend, and don't forget, stick around and I'll add a few more of my other popular spelt bread recipes. And I'll see you next time. Bye.